Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. You all know the films 21 and The Social Network, and the man who is behind those and best-selling author has a brand new one, Bringing Down the House. And you all remember the story of the 6 MIT students who took Vegas for millions. We welcome in Ben Mezrich. Hello, Ben. Good to talk to you. Good to see you. So tell us about the new one. Is this going to be as big a blockbuster as the ones leading up to it?
Hopefully. The new one is called Straight Flush, actually.
Oh, Straight Flush.
Yeah,
okay.
Straight Flush. It's a story of a group of college kids from the University of Montana who essentially launched the online poker world. They moved their frat to Costa Rica. They built it into $1 million a day business, and then the U.S. government decided that online poker should be illegal, shut the whole thing down, and now they're fugitives. One of them's on the run in Antigua, another one went to jail, and the whole industry disappeared.
Now, along those, I mean, you also favor legalized online gambling, correct?
I think that online poker definitely should be legal. I mean, poker is a game of skill. It's hypocritical that we can walk into a supermarket and buy scratch tickets, which is clearly a game of luck, but you can't play poker. Which is more of a sport than anything, I think. But yeah, I think it should be legal. I think it will be. It's in 3 states already, and eventually it'll get all across the country.
And you know, there's I mean, New Jersey, for instance, legalized casino gambling
Right.
recently. The feds took legalized poker off, I think, 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But New Jersey, they expected, you know, just a tremendous amount of revenue, tremendous amount of reaction and response, and they haven't gotten it. And
Right.
you know, I mean, to me, I got a 14-year-old son, and he sees these commercials, and I say, stay the heck away. Why? I mean, why online gambling?
Well, you know, I agree that it has to be regulated, that there has to be age limits on it, that you can't let anybody play, and that there, you know, should be ways to control it so that people aren't just putting all their money into it, just like any form of gambling. But poker, you know, it's a national pastime. You know, the World Series of Poker is a huge television event with a $10 million prize. College kids, you know, adults, soccer moms, everyone plays poker now. And there's no reason why there shouldn't be a way that you can play it. I mean, you can go on Facebook and play Farmville and buy fake little things for your farm, and we're okay with that, but we're not okay with someone playing cards, and that to me seems ridiculous.
Well, all right, fair enough. We'll agree to disagree just a little bit. And I didn't imply that 14-year-olds should be allowed, but once they turn 18, certainly they could get on, and you know, it's impossible to keep track of what young adults do, and it's just that I know too many horror stories. But all right, so let's talk about Zuckerberg and Facebook and all
Sure.
that. I mean, do you think it was a good move for him, you know, to take Facebook public the way he did?
Yeah, in the end it will be. I mean, I think that in the beginning, obviously, it didn't go well right away, but now they've been flying, and they're doing really interesting things by buying up everything, everything in sight. I think Zuckerberg's a genius. I think that overall his goal is this revolution in the social world and changing the world through Facebook. I don't think it's about money for him. I don't think it ever was about money. And I think so far things are moving in the right direction for Facebook. I mean, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I do think IPOing was the right thing if they had handled it better in the beginning.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I think it came out at $29 or something,
Right.
or maybe more. Then it went down to 19 or 17, and now it's as of today, I think it was up over 60. So,
Yeah, so
financially, it was the right move. But you have no problem with the concept of the whole thing, him taking it public and becoming this huge billionaire.
No, I'm a big fan of Facebook. You know, even though the movie itself, I think it tells the true story of how it happened,
Right.
and there's a lot of dirt, and it was a lot of craziness of how it came about. But I think it was a revolution. It changed all of our lives, and will continue to do so.
All right, now getting back to Straight Flush, to talk about how these guys did this.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, there was going overseas, offshore, the whole
Right.
thing.
Well,
talk about that.
Well, what's interesting is these guys were just regular frat guys. They weren't computer geniuses. They actually didn't know how to program. They ended up going to Korea to hire programmers because they thought that Koreans were the best programmers. They moved their frat to Costa Rica, where there was essentially no law. They did get caught up in drugs and girls and all of that kind of thing. But they turned it into $1 million a day business. And eventually what happened was in 2006, 2 senators passed through a bill that made it illegal, essentially, but they kept operating. So these guys stayed in business, and so they were committing crimes essentially from 2006, 2011, when the DOJ raided and shut everything down. But the story itself is very much kind of this American story of just rising higher and higher and higher, getting a little bit out of control, and then everything went bad. So the main character is in Antigua. He can't set foot off the island. He's facing 80 years in prison if he gets caught, so he doesn't want to come back. But it's a wild story.
And it's based on
Truth. I mean,
truth.
these guys
I mean, you
came
did these
to me.
interviews, right?
I spent a lot of time
Yeah.
with these guys. You know, there's a lot of dirty things that happened. There was a big cheating scandal.
Right. That's what I was going to bring up. I
Right.
mean, because they were rigging it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like these guys because
I would imagine
there was a
so.
multi-million-dollar cheating scandal. People were playing and other people could see their cards. And that's one of the things about this industry. If it's not regulated, you have no idea what's going on when you put your credit card in. And people were giving their credit cards to these little offshore banks, and then these banks would just disappear with your money. There was cheating, and then there was also stealing, and then there was some guns involved, and a lot of craziness. So the story had all the elements that I look for in a book, but it happened to be true.
Is it are you glorifying these folks?
You know, a lot of people complain that they feel like I'm going in that direction. I don't think so. I think there's nobody coming out reading this book saying these guys are saints. They don't come off as saints in any way, and the characters themselves didn't love all of the different portrayals of them in the book. I think there is something exciting and thrilling about young people using their brains to make enormous amounts of money, to take on the system. I think there's something very evil about the government shutting it down for really the wrong reasons. If they were shutting it down because of cheating or because of that sort of thing, then I would understand it. But shutting it down because they don't feel like poker should be legal, I disagree with. But you know what? I don't feel like it glorifies them, but certainly I do enjoy these stories, and so sometimes I get overexcited about maybe things in the story.
But then what about the movie? Well, I mean, and
Well,
I know
that's a
that's your
different-
future
you know
intent.
what?
Will that not glorify them? I mean, where illegal, kind of against the grain things, even cheating to an extent, will be, yeah, look at those guys, go, go, go. I mean, you know how it works.
You know what? It could, but I don't think so. If you look at The Social Network as a model, which I think was a phenomenal movie, I don't think it glorifies the steps that Zuckerberg did that alienated friends or the things with the Winklevi.
Right.
I don't think it glorified him, but there certainly was an anti-hero element where you respected him. So yeah, it's hard to say when a movie gets made. I don't have a lot of control of it.
All right, Ben Mezrich, the new one is Straight Flush, the true story of 6 college friends who dealt their way to a billion-dollar online poker empire. Thanks for stopping up. Great to see you.
I appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks.
folks, we're coming back with another segment. Don't miss it. Steve Malzberg Show. Don't go away.